Specifically, we're going to talk about damages as it relates to civil lawsuits. I'm Neil Gordon alongside Vic Hawk.
Happy to be here, Neil. Good.
Yeah, a pretty interesting topic tonight.
Absolutely. It'll be one that we'll all enjoy. We're going to tell you a little about what is negligence, who's liable, how long do you have to file a claim, and we're going to tell you about how to measure your damages in a lawsuit.
And we will be taking your calls after the other side of the break. The number 803-442-4551. Stick around, more News 12 and then Law Call. Hi there, good Monday morning. I'm Neil Gordon. Welcome to Law Call, where we have the answers to your legal questions. Here is what's coming up on the program. In our caller segment, we're going to be discussing all types of personal injury claims. If you've been injured and you just don't know what your steps are, we invite you to give us a call right now. The number 803-442-4551. Now, later on in the program, we're going to talk about how lawyers do more to help you than not. First, though, Attorney Vic Hawk is here to take a look at one of your email questions. Hi, Vic. How are you, sir?
Good to see you, Neil. Happy to be here.
Well, good to have you for sure. A very interesting question, medical question, and it's from Meg, and she wanted to know about her pharmacy. Apparently, the pharmacy gave her the wrong medication. She returned it. She wants to know if she can actually go to court and sue the pharmacy for making her not trust them.
Meg, the answer to your question is no. In any civil lawsuit, you have to have liability, which you have in this case. You have to have collectability, which you have in this case, but you don't have damages. If you don't have damages, there's no basis for pursuing your claim. It's an unfortunate thing that occurred, and you may want to switch pharmacies, but you can't sue them for it.
No harm, no foul,
That's
apparently,
right.
In that case, Vic. Well, you know, if you'd like to get involved and send us an email, there's a couple of ways for you to do so. You can go to Vic's website at vichawklaw.com or here to wrdw.com. You see on the right-hand side there is a red Law Call link. You just click on it, and there's some easy instructions for you to get involved. All right, now on to our topic for tonight's show, personal injury. It can include any type of injury from a traffic accident to a fall to an injury caused by a medical mistake. And some injuries may occur due to criminal activity like DUI or assault. In any case, if you've been injured, you're going to need to know what your rights are under the law.
We're going to tell you what negligence is and who's liable for your injuries. And we're going to tell you about why you hold people responsible for avoidable accidents. If you have any question about personal injury, give us a call.
And the telephone number to call us is at 803-442-4551. Just try to mute your television set. Use a landline if you can.
It'll be a fun night.
Oh, I think so, definitely. Yeah. And you have a guest that's familiar to you tonight.
Absolutely. Tonight, well, first thing, before I introduce my guest, my Aunt Rosa came to see me today. She's 93 years old, and the first thing she said was, Victor, I get to see you on TV on Sunday night, and I just want to reach out and hug you. So here's a hug back, Aunt Rosa. Thank you for watching. Tonight, I bring on a good friend, a great trial lawyer, and he's been with me before he graduated from law school. First, he acted as a runner when he was still making his decision to go off to law school, and then after he went off to law school, he came and started practicing with us, and we've been sharing office space now for a long, long time. And that's Mr. Charlie Lyons. Charlie's office is in Augusta, and he is licensed to practice in Georgia and South Carolina, so we can cover the two-state area tonight. Charlie, can you tell our viewers how you measure damages in a civil lawsuit?
Well, you know, since we are in the football season right now, I'll use an example, NFL player, star player, making, you know, $8–9 million a year. He's injured in a car accident. He's a running back. He can't run the football like he used to anymore. Now what's he worth? Is he still going to be able to make $10 million a year? With that injury, he now may make $5 million a year. So, you know, you can put up evidence to show that because of this injury, this particular person can't make the type of money he made playing football.
One of the other interesting nuances, I guess, to All About Injuries has to do with medical malpractice and medical issues that come up, and that's the question Vera has from Aiken. Good morning, Vera. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How about y'all?
Oh, good. Did you have, I guess, a bad experience at a local hospital? And if so, please don't mention the hospital, but give us the example of what happened.
Well, it's not so much a single hospital. I called in about the hernia mesh erosion that you see so much on TV about. Mm-hmm. I've had 5 hernia repairs, and out of those 5 hernia repairs, 3 of them were used by mesh, with mesh of 3 different companies that are a part of this recall. And I just found out in the last week or so that I've got to have a super major surgery to get those meshes taken out because they've eroded and one is dissecting internally from me. And I know, I think I was told that you have 3 years to file a claim, but does my 3 years start from the last surgery on the 5th surgery in 2008, or does my 3 years start from this big major operation to get the mesh out, the 3 layers of meshes out of me? Do I still have enough time to file a suit against these hernia mesh people, manufacturers?
Charlie?
Well, the first question is, what state are we talking about? Are we talking about Georgia, or are we talking about South Carolina?
South Carolina.
Okay, in South Carolina, basically you have a 3-year statute of limitation. So it would be at least 3 years until the time when you discovered this particular problem that you had with from the surgery.
Okay.
So it would be from the date of discovery.
Date of discovery, yes.
Yeah, not the last time
right. Not the last time you were in the hospital, but when you initially discovered that you were having this problem.
And if you could give us a call, we can refer you to the attorneys who are handling that major litigation by way of class action, and they'll put your case together and pool it into the litigation involving that particular product. And there are certain groups that do just that kind of work.
Excellent. Well, to the other side of the river now, Dawn from Georgia joins us. Dawn, your husband, you say, a victim of an assault?
Yes, sir, he was.
What happened?
He was beat up by a couple of cops, and I was just wondering, because he suffered a bunch of injuries, what we could do about that.
Dawn, when you have a situation like that where police officers have struck your husband, it's called a 1983 action. It's a federal lawsuit for violation of your civil rights against unreasonable use of force against your husband. That is a particular type of litigation where you need to get a lawyer specialized in the area. They're specialized in that particular area. There are a couple of them in Augusta, and if you'll give us a call tomorrow, then I can refer you to those counsel, and they will be able to help you with that kind of claim. But it's a 1983 action that you can pursue, or your husband can pursue on his behalf.
Well, most injuries and legal actions tend to involve car accidents. Candy from Waynesboro was in one. Not much damage to your car, but are you okay, Candy?
No, I had hurt my back, and like now I have migraines a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You want to take it, Charlie? Or?
Yeah, Candy, how long ago did you have this accident?
About 2 weeks ago.
Okay, and you're still suffering from it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, one thing that you need to understand is when you have what we call these low-impact collisions, they are difficult to bring actions. They are difficult to bring with success. But you still should call a lawyer, so have a lawyer to look at it to see if you may have a valid claim.
Yeah, in the studies show that in these cases, they call them missed cases, minor impact collision claims, and the insurance companies take the position that nobody can be injured in them. Well, in fact, the medical science as well as the science of physics show otherwise, that it's not unusual at all that you would suffer an injury when there's a minor impact, but you have to have the medical documentation to support you. And that means you go to the doctor and you get care and let the doctors handle the relationship.
Sure. And there really is such a term as whiplash. You know, you hear that a lot, and it's, oh, whiplash, you're hurt, but you can. You can.
When we take the depositions of orthopedists, it's not unusual when we refer to a minor impact and we refer to the patients coming into the offices, they say they see them every single day. And the responses are naturally caused.
Oh, makes a lot of sense. Well, we're going to just take our first time out. Appreciate everyone calling in. We're going to continue to post our number at 803-442-4551. We're just getting started. All about injuries. Tonight's topic, News 12 Law Call.
But let me take a minute and say why having lawyers is a good thing. Lawyers are the people that help you have your say when you have been wronged. They are also the people that can help you make things right. In court, your status or wealth has no influence on the judge. Only in the court system can an individual without great wealth, or perhaps any wealth at all, come before a judge and jury and have his concerns considered and addressed equally with those of the wealthiest citizens or biggest businesses in the country. Without lawyers, it is highly likely your workplace wouldn't be as safe. Discrimination would be rampant. And if you got hurt by someone, you would just be on your own to do the best that you could. Because of lawyers in the legal system, you can take on presidents, governors, or captains of industry and potentially win. It has been done. Now, there are a lot of noble professions. And maybe not surprisingly, I think being a lawyer is one of them. That's your legal brief for tonight. I'm personal injury attorney Reed Sanders of the Vic Hawk Law Firm. Back to you.
What a nice young man he is, isn't he?
He's pretty cool. I like him.
Definitely. Well, a few years ago, you were in high school, of course.
That's right.
And
That's right.
You had a lot of friends in high school.
I did.
There was a lady named Kay, wasn't there?
Absolutely. Kay Hopkins. She's a very nice lady and called in tonight, but I think she was afraid to ask a question. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. So next time when you call in, make sure you ask us a question, and we'll try to help you out. We enjoy this part.
Oh, there's no question. We're also joined by attorney Charles Lyons, and again, our topic is all about injuries. And of course, when we started the program, we talked about how do you measure damages when certain situations come up. And I know your example at the beginning was of a professional athlete, but locally, and I know News 12 covered this story, it was a horrific crash. A 19-year-old lost her life in Evans, and if it's proven that the other person was at fault, how might that figure into civil damages?
That's a wrongful death claim, and when you have a wrongful death claim, the measure of damages is a little bit different because you measure the value of the person's life, and it's really an economic calculation under Georgia law. You are also entitled to measure the value of the person's life to those individuals that lost that child in this case, and it would be a parent's claim. In the situation where you have a personal injury claim that arising from a wreck or arising from a slip and fall or arising from a defective product, you're gonna be entitled to, I guess is not the right way to say it, you'd be entitled to be made whole again. In other words, if you incur medical expenses, you should be reimbursed for that. If you incur lost wages, you should be reimbursed for that. You should be reimbursed for the expense of going to and from the doctor. And then in addition to that, for pain and suffering. And pain and suffering is a very general term I like to use as an example. If a person's had a broken leg and it takes them 6 months to recover, but from then on they're going to develop arthritis, they're going to have limitations for the rest of their life, and if they have 30 years to live, what would be reasonable and fair for you to take that job and take that suffering for those 30 years? And it's a very difficult thing to say, but the combined minds of 12 do a very good job of being fair to everyone and making that kind of measurement.
We're continuing to talk about all about injuries, and again, we want to invite you to get involved on the program. It's 12:30, but we're still taking calls. The number is 803-442-4551, 803-442-4551. And you mentioned slip and falls. Where do they typically happen? Where you or Charles may get calls at the office. So
Charlie?
Where do they come from?
Well, for some reason, most of them appear to occur in grocery stores, in shopping places, retail places, where you have a lot of traffic, a lot of people in and out. Sometimes people are in these places and they may spill something, or sometimes you have products that leak or that type of thing, and nobody's there to make sure that type of mess gets cleaned up and people slip and fall on them.
Yeah. And it's especially tragic for those persons in advanced stages. And you have to remember that business owners who invite the public in to sell their products are under duty to keep their premises safe. And if they fail to keep that premises safe, then they're responsible for that avoidable accident. You know, we've seen cases at the last GTLA seminar, Georgia Trial Lawyers Seminar, where a particular grocery store actually hid the video of the lady following. And the reason that they hid the video was the debris had been on the floor for 20, 30 minutes before this lady fell and broke her hip. That's not to say all businesses do that, but there are businesses that do fail to keep the premises safe, and they should be held responsible just like anyone who would run a red light and kill someone.
Now, besides grocery stores or big box stores where I can understand that can happen, any slip and falls that can happen on your property that you need to be careful of when you just maybe invite your friend or family member over to maybe just have, you know, something to drink or eat?
Yeah, well, you know, of course, you know, you want to keep your premises safe. You know, you want to have things not on the floor where someone may trip and fall, just because you want to keep your family safe. Just like you want to keep your family safe, people who come to your home, your place of business, they should expect the same type of standards to be held to them.
And there's insurance for that, correct?
Absolutely. That's why we have homeowners insurance.
Sure.
Nobody wants to injure anyone else, but you have the insurance there in case somebody is injured through no fault of their own, but through your fault. And it really protects people, makes everything safer for everyone.
Well, we have one more segment to go, and of course, injuries can involve DUIs, assault, negligence, slip and falls, car accidents. If there's something that you've always wanted to know, now is your opportunity. There's no charge. Charles and Vic waiving their fees tonight. The number 803-442-4551. The last segment of News 12 Law Call after this short break.